It is 5 o'clock. I will see you all tomorrow.
But Gwynn and Chris are just getting started.
Sports talk it is.
Your hosts, Tony Gwynn Jr.
First,
Whoa!
I threw everybody off with that one.
Whoa! What just happened?
And Chris Ello.
I think he's kind of a mouth.
Oh my gosh, what does that mean?
He just says a bunch of stuff that I don't agree with.
All right.
A mouth.
I'm going to move on from this as fast as possible.
Number 2. It's time to get you up to speed on all things sports.
Yes!
With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
Welcome in to Gwynn and Chris on a Tuesday afternoon. Yesterday, get straight to it, was not a good one for the Padres. They continue to lose ball games on the road. I believe this is now, was it 7 straight? 8 straight on the road?
8 straight losses on the road? Yeah,
Yes.
Chris is saying yes, 8 straight.
Yes, 8
Yeah.
straight losses.
Oh, man, when you
On
put it in
the road.
perspective like that, it's sorry.
I mean, listen, there's no way to get around it at this point right now. Yesterday was a third consecutive start from a Padre pitcher that didn't get to the 5th, and that has resulted in different kinds of losses, but nonetheless losses, and the Padres look to regroup against a tough one here tonight. Aaron Nola on the bump for the Phillies, and then after today, it doesn't get any easier. Rangers Suarez. So, I guess the good thing is it's a right-handed pitcher,
Yeah.
which is hasn't caused the same heartache as the lefties have. But the thing about baseball, we talk about it often, Chris. Another game is right around the corner.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing for the Padres right now. It's hard to come up with anything positive after last night unless you're Mike Schilt. I mean, I don't know whether to applaud this guy or just, make it seem like he's driving me crazy. But, I mean, after that game last night, at least what he said in the paper today should make everybody feel just fine about the way things are. He said things are going along okay. He says he expects his team to be where it wants to go in October. He commended their great defensive play last night. He did admit that this was a game that, quote, got away from them. But, at least in his mind, or at least what he's saying publicly, he's not in any kind of getting ready for any kind of panic mode or anything of that nature, Tony. I know they're only 2 games below 500, which is about the same as being 2 games above 500 when we were feeling good on Friday. And, that didn't last very long, so maybe they turn it right back around. I know the people here in San Diego are, I think we're trying to, just nod our head in agreement with Mike Schilt and say, okay, everything's going to be fine. But I don't think we 100% believe ourselves. So we'll see.
I mean, as it pertains to the Padres, I don't know that it matters what we are believing or not.
That's true.
They have to go out and they have to play better than what they've played here in the recent stretch of road games. I mean, they played better at home, and maybe that's what this is. Maybe it's starting to even itself out on the road. The Padres were 9 over 500 before the 8-game skid on the road. And then, they were, I think it was 7 games under before that last couple of homestand, or before the last homestand. So,
Yeah.
Maybe it's evening out. Either way, it's not fun to go through any of this stuff, to watch the team, now lose 4 consecutive games on this road trip in particular. But, again, they get a chance to do something different today.
Yeah, one thing that might be fun to do different is see if the Phillies might be willing to just give Kyle Schwarber a day off. I don't know what to do with this guy.
He's a Padre killer.
I mean, he comes up last night, hits walks, then he homers deep into the bullpen, and then he walks again. Then he bring a lefty in, and he homers deeper into the bullpen, and he's waving at the bullpen, and I don't know what the Padres can do. The stunning thing to me is that he only has 16 home runs this year, because it honestly feels like he's hit that many alone in the 4 games against the Padres. And, going back to that playoff a couple of years ago, we don't have an answer as to how to get this guy out. And, so, I mean, I know Randy Vasquez had a bad start, but I mean, nobody can get Schwarber out. So I maybe the only nice thing about it is that he bats leadoff. The most runs he can account for in the first inning is 1. I mean, I don't know what to do with this guy, Tony. I mean, it's crazy to me.
The cold part about Schwarber is that he actually is, the last 2 years he's hit below 200. He's hitting like 250 right now. He hasn't been below 200 since he left, you guessed it, San Diego. So, and that was, that was like about a month ago at this point. Might have been a little bit longer. But either way, he is he is like the most unique leadoff hitter I think this game has ever seen.
Yeah,
he really is. And the fact that he's actually an even better hitter average-wise this year is kind of scary, because he's still getting on base at the same clip. Now he's just not giving you as many outs as he was giving you before.
Yeah.
Then you slide down to the next spot. They got a healthy Trey Turner. I don't know if he's 100% healthy. You could tell on a ball that he usually would have scored on from first. Him put the brakes on pretty early before being held at third. Harper's doing his thing. Alec Boehm has turned into an RBI machine. They even at the bottom of their lineup, you got guys like Stott at the bottom of that lineup. You had the young catcher fillet 2 baseballs into the outfield yesterday.
Did you just say fillet?
He went 4 for 4 last night. I know a couple of them were bloops, but I'll be honest with you. The day that the Padres get their number 9 guy to go 4 for 4 would be nice. So
hey, Jackson Merrill is number 9 guy, isn't he?
He was a number 9 guy. He's
true.
not anymore. Look, this was not a great performance last night. Honestly, I want to go back to Schilt for a minute, because it's probably the most controversial thing to talk about in a short amount of time. But there are certainly times when you'd like to see him look into the camera or look at the reporter and say, you know what, we stunk tonight. But he doesn't want to say that. He doesn't say that, and I really hope it works. I hope that his positive attitude pays dividends in the long run, because what's going to really matter is where they are in October, and he says they're going to be there. Right now, the reality is they're only a half game from a playoff spot. But the other reality is they're only 1.5 games from being 13th best in the National League in a 15-team league. So there's some urgency somewhere.
Why are we talking about playoffs in June right now?
Because I think a lot – go ahead.
Being a half game out in June makes no difference at all. Like, if we were 5 games up in the spot right now, it wouldn't matter, because the playoffs don't start until October. So I think ultimately, it just seems like we're talking about playoff standings and stuff far too early. It's June, for crying out.
Yeah, but I think sorry, Skraby, I think the reason a lot of people are pointing this out is because they're trying to make themselves feel better about a slump that's happening with this team right now, and trying to remind themselves that despite everything that's happened here, all the ups, all the downs, recently more downs, that they're still in a pretty livable position. So I just think it's something people are saying to make themselves feel better. I'm trying to remind people that you got to play better pretty soon, because 13th place, which is where the Cubs are right now, is not far away. And, I mean, that's just how contentious the National League is. So,
I was going to say that I think people are paying attention a lot to the standings and everything right now because every time I watch MLB Network, what are we doing? We're checking the wild card standings. So MLB is putting pressure on these sort of races in June. They want people to be talking about this. That's what they want.
I did say that MLB isn't pushing the playoffs.
Pushing their agenda, Tony.
I mean, that's not what I said. I just said, why are we talking about it? Because it doesn't. I mean, unless it's for reasons that Chris just mentioned of keeping yourself, making yourself feel better, or
I do think Chris is right there. I do.
Depending on how you view it, it ultimately doesn't matter because the playoffs don't start today or tomorrow or next month. I mean, there are that many games. The focus in terms of the Padres just needs to be on them playing better, ultimately, right? I mean, they didn't have Vasquez got beat up yesterday. 12 hits, 6 runs, something along those lines. He had a rough outing. The Padres in the previous game had another rough start. Dylan Cease, not a guy you typically think of having any, big trouble, but he didn't have his best outing. Padres in that game got themselves in it. They were in it. Then the bullpen had kind of one of their worst performances that they've had in quite a while. And so, you start looking at it and how they've lost these games, in this road trip at least, outside of the one performance by Matt Waldron, all the starts have been, a little short. 3 2/3, 3 2/3. I think what Vasquez get to 4 1/3 yesterday, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So that's you already, and guess what? There's no off days coming to help, So this bullpen is already off to a rough start. The off day we had, I think it was in New York on Thursday. So, Waldron gave him a great outing where I think Mordiahon only threw an inning. But since then, the bullpen is covering, and there is no off day until the following homestand, after the following homestand. And so, if that doesn't get, we don't get today, Michael King is, it's not going to make his job any easier, but the Padres are definitely in need of a good start from him because the bullpen has already had to cover. I haven't put those innings, I haven't done the math yet on the amount of innings they've had to cover in the last 3, but it's certainly something you got to watch for.
So, very astute observations, Tony. I just have to say that.
I don't know that they're that astute.
I was actually talking to Chris off the air.
Sounds like you're buttering him up for something.
No, I was talking to Chris off the air as you ended, and I didn't know where to go with it. But we had Michael King on for Friday, and it was a really great interview. He told us a lot of cool stuff. But at the end, I asked him, what's your favorite play as a pitcher that makes you most pumped up? And he told us that if he does indeed hit a batter, he loves to get the double play the next time out because then he can say that he got the batter and he got the double play.
That's kind of cold. That's a very pitcher-esque answer right there.
Very pitcher-esque answer.
Well, let's hope that he doesn't get in a situation where he needs to hit anybody tonight. The Padres don't need to help the Phillies get base runners. I think we know that from the first 4 meetings. But you're right, Tony. They do have to. It has to start with Michael King tonight. We talked about it yesterday. You're very unlikely to put a bunch of crooked numbers up against a guy like Aaron Nola. So Michael King is going to have to be there. He's going to have to give you 6 innings at least tonight. Try to get yourself to the back end of this bullpen. Give yourself an opportunity to get Suarez in there and save a ball game and stop this losing streak on the road. So, but I doubt they're going to score a lot of runs tonight. And maybe this happen. Is exactly what crazy. They probably will score a lot of runs.
I was about to say. I feel like we've been down this path before where we've been like, oh, this pitcher today, this is gonna be tough. And then they find a way to put up about 3 or 4 runs. I mean, that's what has made this team, I think frustrating at times, interesting, whatever word you want to use there.
Confounding.
Confounding.
Yes. All of that. That who knows what can happen today. But the numbers would say, based on his history and what we've seen from him, that it also could be a long day in terms of finding offense. So we're going to find out today.
Yes, we will.
Well, Hassan Kim is getting a day off today. Tyler Wade will be in the lineup playing shortstop, batting ninth today. But you're right, Tony, about facing a right-handed pitcher. It's another issue for another day. We've been talking about it almost every time they face a left-handed pitcher. It is absolutely mind-boggling, again, to me, that they can get no more than 1 or 2 runs against almost every left-handed pitcher that they face. Yesterday, maybe it wouldn't have mattered too much because, the Phillies were putting runs on the board, but that's an issue that's going to have to get straightened out. I know last time I brought it up, you said, do you have the answer? I certainly don't. Obviously, nobody does because it hasn't really changed, but it's got to be in the back of your mind. You got another lefty tomorrow, so you better make some hay tonight against a righty.
Yeah, I would say so. Ranger Suarez is having a career year for himself, and so the Padres have actually seen both of these guys already, and maybe that's the thing that they've seen them once, have a better idea of how it's going to go, but it's not going to be easy. That's for sure.
All right, Tony, we're counting on you and Jesse to somehow make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
I am on my way to the bus right now to see if I can whip up some magic here and, get this thing rolling. I'll catch you guys up. I'll catch you guys later.
Like we don't have to work tomorrow, so we'll talk to you Thursday.
Travel safe, Tony Gwynn Jr.
Should I take us to break then? Since
let's go to
since
break.
I am leaving.
Yeah.
All right. You got more Gwynn and Chris coming your way without Gwynn, at least for the rest of the show. Tony Gwynn Jr. here. Moon Valley Nurseries wants you to have a summer without limits. Unlimited shade.
this hour. 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the San Diego County Fair. Let's go retro. The San Diego County Fair, it opened on June 12th, so it is underway and rolling. The magic of the Midway and live concerts featuring the Kings of Late Night, Jay Leno, Craig Ferguson, Arsenio Hall, all performing live this Friday night, June 21st. Get your tickets now at sdfair.com. Let's go retro. Let's do something really nice for all of you right now. Before I regurgitate one more time what is angering me to no end about Mike Schilt.
Oh, no.
Before that, though, I got a pair of tickets to give away to this Thursday's Padres-Brewers game. Other than Mike Schilt, who loves this team, who wants to go?
Everybody?
I know you guys want to go. The German Heritage Celebration is coming up Thursday. You can purchase a special ticket package that includes a limited edition themed Padres hat. See Padres.com/tickets for details. Or win a pair right here. Padres-Brewers game this Thursday. You got to call us. 833-288-0973. I'm not going to give you the trivia question quite yet. Or should I give it to you? I'm trying to figure out how best to do this. I want to get everybody on the line, get a chance to win these tickets. I'll go ahead and give the question now.
Okay.
And then we'll go back to your calls. Just wait online when you call in. I know it's a little confusing.
You're being a weird person today.
Well, it's a little confusing because we're trying to do all this in like one 10-minute segment.
It's true.
So, 833-288-0973, chance to win Padre tickets. Today's question, think about it, look it up, do whatever you got to do. Who leads the Padres right now in triples this year? Who leads the Padres right now in triples?
I know.
You do?
I do.
Well, that's good.
Well, that's
Unfortunately, you're not in the running for the tickets.
No. And by the way, I should add that the tickets do not include the hat. The tickets we're giving
you
away.
have to buy a special ticket package
Yes,
to get the limited edition.
We are just giving you entry into the game.
Padres hat.
Yes.
All right. So if you call in and you're on hold and you're listening to the show, stay there, and then we'll give everybody a chance to answer the trivia question in just a minute. But as I go back and forth as fast as I can here to try and get through this all, does this sound like a guy whose team has lost 8 games in a row on the road? Quote, I have no concern about this club at all. Does this sound like a guy whose team got whipped 9-2 last night and has lost each of the last 3 games by 5 or more runs? Says Mike Schilt, I have complete confidence. Hey, today was really the first game that's gotten away from us almost all season, right? Well, I checked. The Padres have lost 14 games this year by 4 or more runs, including each of their last 3. I don't mind having a positive spin when things are going bad, but I think when you get beyond realistic, then I think you start losing the crowd. You know what I mean?
I do.
I really do. I think people don't. I think people start to tune you out after a while. Now, it doesn't matter, honestly, whether we all as fans and media tune out. What matters is the players. But in the court of public opinion, I wonder if Mike Schilt isn't losing some people with all of this, hey, everything is great talk, when we just don't see everything as being great right now.
I want someone to tell me realities. I want someone to be like, because you can't sit there and say this team's looking good right now, because obviously it's not looking good. They just lost 3 to the Mets. They lost 1 to the Phillies, and they might, who knows what's going to happen the next 2 days. Just tell me, no, my team is not playing great, but we're going to get back to playing great.
We have to play better. Something along those lines would
But don't tell me things are okay, because things are not okay right now in our world.
He's telling me he has no concern about this club at all. Every single person I know that watches this club right now has a concern about it, except apparently Mike Schilt. And I'm just saying, the court of public opinion in the long run doesn't matter, but it kind of matters a little bit because you hear all this stuff. It never ends. I know the players have to get the job done, but if the winning doesn't start, the natives are going to get more and more restless.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to hear it. All right, that's all I'm going to say. No, I'm going to say one more thing about Mike Schilt. One more thing to say about Mike Schilt. Where was he this afternoon after I was done with my round of golf?
Oh, why?
Mike Schilt would have said something like this. Chris looked pretty good on those 3 straight holes that he got double bogeys. You know, and if that one ball hadn't have gone into the lake, he would have been okay and not gotten a 9.
So you need him to follow you around?
I need him to follow
fluff
me
up
around
your
and meet
stories.
me, keep me thinking positively out there.
Well, you know
like
what?
when I get 3 straight double bogeys, I think that's bad golf. Mike Schilt might think otherwise.
It depends on if you're playing bogey golf or not.
All
We'll have
right,
to
get
no,
out
but
of
Mike
that
Schilt
mode.
is the perfect person to follow you around on the golf course.
He'd have me feeling terrific about my 29 over par performance today out there.
And I want to dispel some rumors. We got someone saying that you're on the ledge. In this case, Chris is not on the ledge. Chris is with a lot of people.
I feel like I'm on the ledge here.
I
I'm
don't
just
think he's
reading
on the
what I'm
ledge.
seeing. They got whooped last night. They got whooped bad on Sunday. They got whooped pretty good on Saturday. 8 in a row is 8 in a row. Don't tell me you have no concern. All right, let's give the tickets away. I gave you the question.
Yes.
We got 6 callers online.
Yes.
I imagine all 6 probably know the answer to the question.
I would hope so. By
Which
this point.
was, who leads the Padres in triples right now? I'm going to now roll the famous Gwynn and Chris dice.
I've become to hate this
You
die.
love the die.
I hate it.
You'll hear it. That's the sound of it.
He feels
I love
so
this.
good about it.
I love this. There's 6 lines, so the die will land 1 through 6. Whatever line it is going to have the first shot at the tickets. Line 5.
Line
oh, no,
5.
it's ringing.
Oh, no. That's a good thing for this person.
All right.
All right, I'm going to put them on hold. Your phone number has 8072 in it.
Yeah. Who
All
is
right,
this? Hello? Hello? We don't have your name.
Hello?
We're taking you live on the
yes,
air.
you're live on the air.
Larry.
Please do not swear.
Larry, what do you got? Who's leading the team in triples right now?
Jake Cronenworth.
Ooh,
No, not correct. Not correct.
Unfortunately,
He had the first
Larry.
shot, but he did not take advantage of it.
That would have been a good guess last year.
Next, line 2, Bryce and Escondido. Bryce, you got a shot
Hi.
at the Padre tickets. Who's leading the team in triples?
Hassan Kim.
Correct.
Son, Kim.
Very
Yeah,
good. He's got
correct.
3 triples. Bryce,
I'm
stay
also
on the
a big
line.
Skraby fan. I wanted to shout Skraby out. Skraby, you're the man.
Oh, thank you, Bryce.
you're no
You've
longer
already won
eligible
the
for the
tickets. You've
prize.
already won the tickets. You don't need to say anything.
As a Skraby fan, you are no longer eligible for the
Oh,
prize.
dang it.
Stay
Bryce,
there,
stay
Bryce.
online. Good job. You'll go to see the Brewers and Padres on Thursday.
All right, now that we got that out of the way real
We
quick.
got that
Chris,
out of the way.
A question on the chat, which I think is,
You want me to answer?
yes.
All right.
Do you, and I'm not asking for any names, but do you see someone doing a better job managing this team right now?
Oh, I'm not asking for the removal
No,
of
I don't
Mike
think you are.
Schilt in
I don't
any
think
way,
you are.
shape, or form.
I don't think you are. You just want him to acknowledge that things are not good right now.
I would like a little acknowledgement of that, yes. That's what
That's
I'm
fair
after.
enough. That's
That's
fair
all I
enough.
think. I don't think I'm being unfair. I understand being, upbeat when things aren't great. Somebody's got to remain upbeat. Might as well be your manager. But I think you're losing the
The fans?
yeah, I think you're losing some of them. I think a lot of us are like, man, I just don't buy this guy anymore.
I'm not like that. I'm a day-to-day person to begin with. I've told Chris I've changed my philosophy
You
on the
are.
season. Now, today, my philosophy on the rest of the season is I'm not going to care about the record until August 1st.
If they end up in the playoffs like he says they're going to, that's great.
and
but-
he'll be right.
and
That
he'll
we
be
shouldn't
right.
have freaked out.
But he could have said during the ride that we've had some struggles. He also said after the game last night, this league is based on pitching. We have a good offense. Statistically, they have one of the best batting averages in baseball, if not the best, right? It was the other
yes.
day.
As
I don't know
of
where-
last Friday.
As of the last couple
Yeah.
days, I don't know where it is this morning. But, we've ground this into the dirt about how they can't score runs against left-handed pitching. And once again, they were shut down last night. It's 21 straight games that left-handers have started that the Padres have done nothing on offense.
And-
They've scored a total of 23 earned runs in those 21 games. That's not a good offense.
No.
That's a big problem.
It is a huge problem.
Needs to be acknowledged somewhere. If you're not going to acknowledge it publicly, I hope somebody's acknowledging it privately and trying to figure out a way to change it.
You should just see the conspiracies on the chat right now.
No,
It's the only way to explain how this has all gone, Chris, over the past few years.
I don't have any time for everything, unfortunately, today. We will have a chance on Thursday. We're off tomorrow. Thursday, hopefully they'll have a couple of wins under their belt, and there'll be a little different.
Please.
It'll be a little different feel to all of this. But if they lose 2 more, it's only going to be worse on Thursday. So either way, make sure you join us for a full 3-hour show at 2 o'clock on Thursday. We also have the Padre Roundtable Thursday. One other thing to add on the Padres. We mentioned in the open that Tyler Wade is in for Ha-Seong Kim tonight. We did not mention that David Peralta is in for Fernando Tatis Jr. tonight.
There's already so much negative. We couldn't handle any more negative.
So Fernando is sitting out the game tonight. Is he hurt? Is he resting?
I haven't seen. Yeah, that's probably.
If he is resting, why is he resting? They have lost 8 straight road games. They're playing one of the best teams in baseball. Sam Levitt will have that answer and more in the Padre pregame show, which is coming up next. Bryce, stay on the line. We'll get to you right after the show's over. You got the Padre tickets. Thanks for joining us. Got as much jammed in there as we could. Padre pregame, Padre baseball ahead. For Tony, Skraby, Chris, out.